Hi everyone, and welcome to Classical Singing Made Simple. My name is Maddie Hendricks, and I'm a classically trained coloratura soprano, making classical singing more fun, interesting, and exciting for all. Today, we are diving into something very personal for me, and the beginning of a brand new branch of content on this channel. Woohoo! Braille music education, music literacy, accessibility, and what it's actually like learning music as a blind professional singer. And wow guys, do I have some stories. So I'm excited to begin this series. Because here's something that most people don't know about me. I personally sang in high school choir without actually reading music. My sighted peers worked on music literacy constantly, reading music on the staff, working on sight reading. We did that a lot in class, and I was the blind kid in choir with a pretty good ear, so I listened and relied on the other sopranos and my choir teacher to teach me my music by ear. And so I learned by ear and I got by. So I was the fully blind choir kid, could not read music yet, but I was still doing concerts and participating. And honestly, I remember, in the beginning when I, didn't really think I wanted to do music seriously, nobody thought, and I didn't think that was a problem. So more about my growing up. So I was really lucky in a lot of ways. I grew up in Alabama. I was a part of a really genuinely good program, a choir program in high school. We worked really hard. We really studied our voices. Vocal technique was really emphasized in choir. It was amazing. We sang very challenging choral literature. And we did a lot of sight reading exercises in class. That was a pretty standard part of our rehearsal process. After warm-ups, it was always sight reading. So lots of solfege, scale degree numbers, rhythmic exercises, sight singing, singing music that you're looking at for the very first time, and being able to sing it for the first time without having heard it before, only looking at the staff, the notes and the rhythms. So my classmates were developing music literacy skills constantly. But here's the thing, I wasn't fully participating in a lot of that my sophomore and junior year because I didn't actually know how to read music yet. So I learned almost everything by ear, and because I had strong ears, I had perfect pitch, and I memorized things quickly. I could survive musically. I could learn my part, blend in rehearsal, memorize quickly, and everybody kind of went, well, she's doing fine. But looking back now, especially as a professional musician, no, I was surviving, and that's different from being musically independent. And that is what I'm all about as a blind singer, and now passing that on years later. So honestly, I really didn't understand the difference yet between what it was to just listen to something and then be able to read music in Braille. And so that was very interesting. Things started to really change my senior year of high school because at that point I kind of realized, wait, I really want to study music in college. I really want to pursue this as a professional career. And that's when it kind of became real, because college music programs really teach music reading as a part of the coursework, and being a music major in theory courses and oral skills courses. So my instructional support teacher at the time, who was also my teacher of the visually impaired, got me a book that genuinely kind of changed my life. And it's one that I recommend to this day when folks ask, Braille music resources, what are they? This book is An Introduction to Music for the Blind Student by Richard Taish. And Richard Taish is Taesch. I highly recommend this book. It's I'm not gonna lie, it's dense. It's very academic. It does not baby you, but it really teaches Braille music very thoroughly, from beginner concepts, the dots that make up the pitches and the rhythms, all the way to advanced theory and collegiate level ideas like key signatures and accents and modulations and all of that, all of the things that really make you successful as a college level musician. And so one thing that I love about this book is it comes in both Braille format for the blind student and print format for the sighted teacher. And this includes the music exercises written in normal staff notation, as well as a simulation of the Braille dots in this print copy, so that the sighted teacher can get an idea of how the Braille music actually looks. This is super, super awesome, and yeah, honestly pretty brilliant. So I got this book my senior year, and it really changed my life. Here is the interesting part about this. So I did not really have a dedicated Braille music teacher. My choir director, he was wonderful. He really helped me when he could, but choir directors are busy people, folks. So he had an entire choir program to run, and so a lot of this for me became self-teaching. And let me tell you guys something. Braille music is not just literary Braille with music notes sprinkled in. It is an entirely separate Braille code. So you have to learn measures, pitches, rhythms, the dots for the octave signs, intervals, and how they work when it comes to octaves. That can be tricky. Accidental signs, key signatures and time signatures. And then all of the signs for like accents and word signs and dynamic markings, all of this. It's intense, y'all. And your brain has to switch between literary Braille, that's letters and numbers, and music Braille, that's Braille music notation, especially as a vocalist working with text. And as you can imagine, it at first felt very overwhelming. Yes, there were concepts I got stuck on for days and sometimes weeks. And but I kept going because I knew if I wanted to really function professionally, I needed true music literacy, and I needed to really stick with it, not just musical talent. So the college reality check. So when I got to college, undergrad, suddenly there was kind of a brand new problem, which was a good problem, but it was this, and it was, how do I actually get my music? So because unlike literary Braille, you can't just take a PDF of sheet music and magically emboss it into Braille. That is often, I feel like, one of the biggest myths people have about Braille music. It either has to be professionally transcribed by a music transcriber, or converted through specialized software like Lime or Good Feel, Dancing Dots Suite, or already exist in Braille format. And professional transcription, it is expensive, like really expensive. We're talking $9 a Braille page. More on that later. So at first, you know, music being professionally transcribed for me page by page, that worked. And eventually my vocational rehab counselor, who was paying for my college tuition at the time, was purchased the Dancing Dots suite for me, which includes Lime and Good Feel. And that changed everything for me, because composition students, just in case you're not sure what the Dancing Dots program is, composition students can basically put the music into a system like Finale or MuseScore, export the XML files, and then this program that I download that's on my laptop can translate the music into Braille instantly. And it is amazing. And so that was really life-changing for me. And stay tuned, because I will be doing a demonstration video on this assistive technology that is truly brilliant. So at first, I embossed giant hard copy Braille scores. And if you know Braille and Braille music, you know that those scores can get into some really big stacks. The stacks can get very big very, very quickly. But eventually, my Braille Sense Polaris, where I'm reading this classical singing made simple script, it is my assistive technology, basically a Braille computer, word processor, Braille music reader, audio recorder, all of the things. Quick Braille Sense Polaris overview. It updated in 2019, 2020, I can't remember. Oh well. It updated to support Braille music files directly. And this is huge for me, because once something was embossed into hard copy Braille, I couldn't make markings in my score like my sighted music peers. Musician colleagues could make, markings in their music, but I couldn't once something was embossed into hard copy. So I'd have to go into my laptop, make the markings given by my director, and reprint the score in the old days. So yeah, talk about using up some paper. So having scores digitally now allows me to edit the file, which means I can make markings by literally just typing them in. So pretty brilliant, which honestly transformed my workflow as a singer, definitely. So especially now, fast forward, I'm out of school and in professional settings now as an opera singer and choral singer. And let me tell you guys something very honestly, and also just note that this is my personal opinion as a blind musician. If I did not know how to read music, I genuinely do not know how I would survive in these high-level choral environments and professional environments that I'm in. Professional choirs move fast. When I come into rehearsal, I'm expected to read music at a very high, efficient level and make very, very few mistakes. When I come into an opera staging rehearsal, I'm expected to already know my music. So there's nobody spoon-feeding me the notes. There's nobody, sitting down and teaching me my part, measure by measure. In these professional environments, you're expected to prepare independently, learn difficult music, very difficult music, very, very quickly, sight read efficiently, and come in ready to work, ready to work on professional level skills, like blending with an ensemble, talking about crescendo, decrescendoing together, talking about blending vowels together if you're in a choir, and then, so just things like that. So, Like, that's why music literacy matters to me. Not because learning by ear is bad. Learning by ear is an incredible skill and it can come in handy, especially when you don't have time to get music transcribed, especially when good feel malfunctions and your laptop breaks down and you can't get a score in Braille. Oh well, whoops. No, that's not fun when that happens. But literally, music literacy gives you independence, and that's the difference. So, yes, we are officially opening a new branch of classical singing made simple. Braille Music Monday, Braille music education, accessibility, advocacy, and blind musicianship. We are going to talk about so many things, including Braille music basics, busting Braille music myths, Braille music resources, Braille music technology, accessibility in sighted music classrooms. How can blind musicians participate in sighted music classrooms? Accommodations, appropriate accommodations, professional auditions, and what it actually takes to function as a blind classical singer in the real world. And honestly, I am so excited because I feel like we needed this content yesterday. We need this content desperately, and I hope that you guys enjoy. Feel free to post in the comments, in the chats, what you'd like to see. And maybe somebody needs this too. So I'm really excited. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time for Braille Music Monday.